Hey guys, welcome to this video. My name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer. I want to talk to you about a question that I received, which was if you do a dispute directly to a debt collector, so this is sometimes called a validation letter, and you do that outside that 30-day window. Usually when you first deal with the debt collector, you'll get a letter. It's called the 1692G notice, and it says you have 30 days to dispute this. If you dispute it, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if you're way beyond that time period? Can you still send a validation notice? And if you do that, does the debt collector have to mark your credit report as being disputed? So the answer to the first question is absolutely. You can do it outside that 30-day period. Here's the only downside. You lose some of your rights if you're outside that 30-day period. So if you do this dispute within the 30-day period, then the debt collector has to provide you validation or verification of the debt. And until they do that, they cannot collect anymore. Okay? So what are their choices? Well, they can either give you the information requested, and let me say this, a lot of times people request all sorts of information. The law is pretty unimpressive in what these debt collectors have to provide you. Okay? But assuming they give you what the law requires, then they can continue to collect. So that's option one. Option two is they can do nothing. And see, a lot of people think, well, they only have 30 days to respond. No, they can take 5 years. They just can't collect until they do something. Or number three, they cannot validate or verify the debt and just transfer it to another debt collector. And then the process starts all over. Okay? So those are the requirements or the options for a debt collector if you're within that 30-day period. But if you're outside that 30-day period, they don't have to do that. But psychologically, almost all collectors that I know of and that I've seen, I've been dealing with debt collectors for 20 years now, they will respond to the letter. Sometimes they kick the account out. They say, I don't want this account anymore. Or other times they'll say, well, here's some proof. Or they may just shut down collection altogether. Okay. Now, they're not required to do those things, but they usually do. If you've made a reasonable, it's a legitimate validation request to them. So you can definitely do that anytime. But besides all that, even if they don't respond to you, if you notify them, particularly in writing, although you can do it verbally, but if you notify them in writing, I don't care if it's 31 days or 330 days or 1,030 days after the 1692G validation letter that they send you, if you notify them it's disputed, then they have to mark your credit report as being disputed. Now, we'll give you this little sort of footnote or caveat here. A lot of courts say that they do not have to update your report. Okay, so let me give you an example. So I'm recording this in September 2020. So they, on September 1st, update your credit report, which most of these companies do once a month. And then let's say September 15, you send a dispute letter, but you're outside that 30-day period. Now, the debt collector could choose to never update the credit reporting again. And most courts, or at least a lot of courts, would say, then that's fine. That does not violate the FDCPA. And when we're talking about the FDCPA, there's a particular section that specifically deals with debt collectors. It's section 1692E and then subparagraph 8 that says they can't do false credit reporting, including refusing to mark an account as disputed when they know it's disputed. But what the courts have said is, well, if they have credit reporting and they choose, as we go through time, to never update the report, then they don't have to mark it as disputed because it wasn't disputed back here when they last reported. But if they do update, almost all of them do every month, then when they update, they better mark it as disputed, or you may have a claim under section 1692E8. So if you're beyond that 30-day time period, I definitely recommend send them a dispute letter, whatever you want to call it, dispute letter, validation letter. We have a video, it's a couple years old, but it's very accurate information in terms of just a very simple, legitimate dispute letter, and that should be linked either here in the description. And you can go there and look at that, and we walk through exactly why we put the language in we do. But send something like that, or use that as a basis to then make your own. And if they respond, great. If they get rid of the account, fantastic. But even if they don't, if they then update your report, and you can prove when you sent them that dispute letter and that they received it, they have to receive it. So do it by certified mail. You can say, you can show they received it on September 15th, and then October 15th they updated your report and they did not mark it as disputed. In November 15th they updated your report, not marked as disputed. That's a pretty good little lawsuit. Okay, now is that something they're going to pay you? You know, you file the suit and they go, oh my goodness, you caught us. Here's $100,000. No, but are they going to pay you $5,000, $10,000 for that? They're going to kill the debt. You know, if you negotiate the right way, then you've got a chance at that. So it definitely has some value to it. And so don't worry about if you miss the 30 days. Now, if you're within the 30 days, get your dispute letter to them within that 30-day time period. But if you're beyond the 30 days, it's okay. It's okay. I would still send the dispute letter to them and see what they do. Okay, guys, appreciate you watching this, and I'll catch you in the next one.